Man, I'll tell you what, if you commit to just showing the plan a little bit every week, I promise you, this group will form, right? Do you know where this starts?
With you.
It starts with a thought. It starts with a thought. A thought in your head of wanting to accomplish something great in your life. Do you know that this table right here started off as a thought? Someone thought, I need to produce portable training tables for hotels, for schools. And what they did was they hired a designer, a furniture designer, designed something that folds up, portable. They had material designers that said, okay, what kind of material can we make this out of? It all came out of someone's thought. You know, the thought of that business started with someone who decided back in 1880 that they wanted to start a furniture company, right? It just started with a thought. Do you know that your life is just a series of thoughts in your mind that become a reality? Now it's up to you to determine what kind of thought that is. See, because that thought could be a thought of fear, or that could be a thought of something that you want to do that's great. Now what do I mean by fear? Job said it, didn't he? The book of Job. Some people say it's a book of Job. I think about it the same way, but book of Job, he got what he worried about. You get what you fear. Do you know why you get what you fear? You know why you get what you worry about, Stephen? Is because that's the thought that engulfs your mind, and it's the thing you focus on all the time. You get actually what you worry about. Isn't that crazy? The thing you're most worried about, the thing you fear is what you'll get. But you know what, Valerie? What if you change that, knowing that that's how your brain works? What if you change that to something awesome? What if you change that to something great that you want to do with your life? You know what I'm saying? Here's where Satan works. He works in the world of fear. See, he wants you to fear because he wants you to have crap. That's where he controls you. But when you can live a life of victory, man, God gave us an awesome brain. He's a divine engineer, baby. You know what I'm saying? He gave us this awesome brain. Let me explain the brain just a little bit to you. It's not going to be biology class. Do you know how many electrical impulses it takes for you to breathe? Just the thought of, okay, my diaphragm has to contract and expand to keep my lungs going. Are you guys thinking about that? How about your heart? Are you thinking about, oh, please heart, please beat, please beat? No, because all those electrical impulses and all those things that make your body work is relegated to a thing called the hypothalamus. It's all back in here, right behind here. That's what makes all that work. It's this control center that just happens automatically. See, and that's where other things reside. Your subconscious programs that. It's your subconscious handles that part, right? Like for example, when you drove here, can you tell me like, okay, I corrected just a little bit here, and then I corrected here when I got past this road, and then do you remember every detailed thing that you saw while you drove? You don't, do you? It's just automatic. How about taking a shower? You didn't even think about taking a shower. How about which leg you start with when you put your pants on? I know I'm getting personal. Your hypothalamus, your brain takes all that stuff so you can think about stuff that you've got to do. You can take care of danger, you can take care of stuff that you got to react to like right now. Now here's the beautiful thing about your beautiful brain that God blessed you with, is that you are the programmer of your brain. You can decide the kind of world that you want to live in. You can decide what kind of life that you can have. Man, you can decide that I don't want to live in a world of fear. I want to live a life of victory. I want to take advantage of what God Almighty has given me, and I'm going to take it, and I'm going to be the best I can be. Because that's what He wants from me. That's what He wants from me. You ever thought about God's dream for you? Do you ever think that God has a dream for you? To be the best you can be in your life. Because you know what? When you got your mission and when you can do it, that's where you finally get fulfilled. Fulfillment is the key that will help you get out of the crap. See, we get dragged down. We get dragged down into the mud. We get dragged into the mud because we live in fear all the time. Because we don't know what God wants us to do. We don't know what His will is. And we figure it out. Man, it doesn't matter how hard it gets. It doesn't matter how awesome it gets, because I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I know why I'm on this earth. I know. I don't care how bad, because I'm victorious already. I already won. And you can program that. I'm going to give you the tools to program that. So I'll give you an example. I'll use myself. Now, fall forward last year, Andy Albright asked me to do a talk called Self-Talk. How to speak what you want, not what you have. And there's a lot of spiritual laws involved in it. There's a lot of biological things about your brain that what you speak does not come back void. What you speak does not come back void. When you speak it out there, something happens with it. Something happens. And you decide whether you speak good in your life or bad in your life. Right? You're the one who programs your brain. So Andy had me talk about this. And the book that I talked about back then at Fall Forward was Self-Talk Solutions by Shad Helmstetter. Okay, so here's a book recommendation. It's called Self-Talk Solutions. The guy's named Shad Helmstetter. S-T-E-T-T-E-R.
Elio.
Okay. Now, I remembered back in the Amway business, when I was in the Amway business with Andy, that this book was an important book that actually was powerful for me. Because my wife, we were pregnant with our first child, Jerome Cord. And I know, man, you got a fan already. So this book, when my wife got pregnant, our plan was to bring her home from work. We need to replace her income. And so when I discovered this book has this thing called self-talk scripts in it. Okay, scripts where you can read victorious stuff about what you want to do in your life. Okay, freedom from worry. Okay, freedom from procrastination. How can I live a more faithful life? It has a series of self-talk things in it. So what I did was I recorded these self-talk scripts into a cassette player. Okay, some of you young people, Matt, a cassette is, Wikipedia, okay? I record on a cassette, and I bought one of those pillow speakerphones, and every night I went to bed, I talked victory. I talked all these self-talk things into me, into my subconscious, right? And I'll give you an example. Well, and so, and then 8 months later, see, because I need to replace her income. She was making about $45,000 a year, worked for Lexus. And in 8 months, we built our Amway business to where we were making $75,000 a year, netting about $45,000. And so we retired her from her stupid job so she could be full-time at work. A month later, we had our child. Is that crazy? I totally spoke it into existence. I programmed my brain to make that happen. My whole world changed. People came into my life in my Amway business that helped me do that. People came in my life. Circumstances happened. It was crazy. And so when I did this talk back then, I thought, you know what? I haven't done it in a long time. Why did I stop? It's crazy. I said, you know what? I got to do this again. Except now we have technology called MP3 players. We have a playlist we can put it in. And I'm a musician, so I have one of those in-ear monitors that are molded to my ear now. So every night since October, November last year, I did self-talk. And some of the self-talk stuff, I want to let you hear it. I put it in a playlist. I got like 26 of them. And I choose the ones that that I really need to focus on. Here's the one on goals.
Goals. I write them down and I review them often. My goals give me a clear picture of my own positive future in advance. I spend several minutes each day reviewing the goal cards I write for myself. I read my goals to myself each morning when I awake and each night just before I go to sleep. My goals are very specific. The more detailed and specific they are, the more clearly I am able to visualize them and create them in my life. Every time I see something in myself that I choose to change or decide on something that I want in my life, I write it down, set a goal, review it daily.
I have this playing all night long while I'm asleep. But you know who listens to it? My subconscious. I have one on weight loss. I have one on achieving goals, controlling emotions, deserve to succeed, determination and willpower, exercising, faith, financial freedom, overcoming fear of failure, overcoming personal limitations, overcoming procrastination, personal achievement, selling. All night long. And I can tell sometimes when I miss a night, I don't wake up fired up. I don't wake up as fired up as I do when I'm listening to it. It's crazy. Now here's the thing that just totally blew my mind. Some of this stuff, your brain, the way your brain works, the way your subconscious works, the way your hypothalamus works is it's there to help you survive. So like for example, if you decide to go on a diet, all of a sudden you're telling your hypothalamus, hey man, I'm reducing my calorie intake because I'm going on a diet. The problem is your hypothalamus isn't convinced. It's like your hypothalamus says, prove it to me. Seriously, how do I know you're not like lost in the desert, right? And you're losing calories. So I'm not going to believe you, I'm going to believe me. I'm going to reduce your metabolism. I'm going to slow your metabolism down because you're reducing your calorie intake. You ever start dieting, all of a sudden your metabolism slows down, you're sleepy all the time, and then it tries to increase your appetite to try to replace those calories. That's why it's so hard to do it. But then when you can survive that, and then the next day you do it, and the next day you go to your hypothalamus and say, hey, no, I'm serious, I'm going on a diet. And your hypothalamus says, well, okay, 2 days, man, that doesn't make a trend. I don't know about this. I'm still going to slow your metabolism down. But you do it enough and enough and enough, then your hypothalamus says, okay, I think you're serious now. I'm going to keep your metabolism up. And you know what? You know what I'm going to do? Because I know that you operate at this caloric intake and you're not giving me enough, I'm going to go to this closet here called your fat, right? And I'm going to take some of these fat cells out and I'm going to burn those up. And every day, burn more fat, and then your diet starts to work. See, your hypothalamus is there for you to protect you, right? The other thing too is like if you start exercising, here's what's crazy about exercise, is when you start exercising more and more, your hypothalamus, you tell your hypothalamus, hey man, I'm going to be healthy, I'm going to exercise more. And your hypothalamus is going, man, you're burning a lot of calories. I don't know, man, you might be lost somewhere and you're like maybe crashing an airplane, you're trying to, and your hypothalamus says, you know what? I'm gonna make you eat more. I'm gonna get you hungry so you can replace all those calories you're burning up. How many of y'all started working out and then it just increased your appetite, right? Right. What happens is then you start doing it enough, all of a sudden your hypothalamus says, you know what, I think you're serious. Right? I'm gonna keep your metabolism going. In fact, all day long, I'm gonna increase your metabolism. You're gonna start burning more calories. See, why I say that is, it's all up here, and it didn't really happen for me where it just dawned on me until just a few months ago. See, because I had that exercise and weight loss in my self-talk for months. And sometimes this stuff happens quick, right? Your subconscious will take it and start running with it. And sometimes it happens slow, right? But it happens. And so one day, Michelle, I woke up and I just was doing my routine. And then I had this like inkling, this little prompting, just a little prompting that said, you need to go to sign up for a gym. It was just like the tiniest little feeling. That's what I did. I was driving and it's like, you know what? I'm going to go drive in and sign up for Anytime Fitness. Because I had done some research and I can sign up for Anytime because there's Anytime Fitness down here. There's one in Charlotte because I worked out there. There's one by Wilmington. I mean, I was going to Anytime Fitness and I signed up. And here's what's crazy. It wasn't I woke up and I was thinking, okay, it's on my self-talk. This is the day the Lord has made. This is the day that he's going to sign me up for Anytime Fitness. No, it was a little whisper of a feeling that said, hey, go sign up. Okay, I'm gonna sign up. And then Russ, man, the next day, you know how sometimes when you try to force yourself to exercise, you get up in the morning and you go, oh, I really don't feel like exercise. You know what? I'm gonna turn my pillow over to the cool side and I'm gonna sleep. How many of y'all done that, right? Here's what's crazy, is the next morning, I woke up and then, in fact, I had to adjust my schedule because I usually hit daily mass at 8:30, so, I'm gonna go to 6:30 and then I'm gonna work out after. So I changed my schedule. Now I sleep 4 hours, so I had to back up, going to bed at about, 2 in the morning, get up at 6, go to 6:30 mass, and after that, go work out. Do you know what? When I got up, I just got up, boom, 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 this is what I gotta do. It wasn't hard. It was just what I do. In fact, it was so pounded, Michelle, in my subconscious that that's what I had to do, that it was easy. And you know what? I got to look at opportunity to go and work out again. Where can I work out? Even when I'm on the road, it's like, I got to go work out. Like earlier this morning, right before our agency conference call, man, I did 45 minutes on the treadmill. I'd never done a treadmill before, but their elliptical wasn't working. But I had to get my heart rate up. I just had to do it. And then after I was done, it's like, I feel so good. Because my whole thing is just, I got to get healthy. Right? It wasn't hard. It's now a habit. And it was a habit that wasn't hard. How many of y'all ever heard it takes 30 days to create a habit? Man, you program your subconscious, you can program the right habits and make it easy. How many of y'all would love to have an easy habit? That it's not hard to make the decision to do what you got to do every day. I'm telling you what, you program your subconscious to work for you, not against you. To work for you, not against you. To work for you, not against you. Oh my gosh. You are in control. You got the power. You got the power to control your life. Right? And it was just a little thing like this exercise thing. It just blew my mind. And then here's what I love about the self-talk, because my self-talk was goal achievement. Andy put into my life this book called Goals by Brian Tracy. Goals by Brian Tracy. This book and that book, I promise you, I will guarantee it. You do the stuff in here, will change your life. These books will make you $1 million, $10 million. You can have better relationships with your family. Your spiritual life will rock. You will have the house of your dreams. You will have the lifestyle that you ever dreamed of in these two books. Goals. Brian Tracy. What's really crazy is when I started reading this book, and I read Self-Talk Solution already, it's almost like these guys collaborated to put it together. They go like this. Oh my gosh. It's powerful. I promise you. I totally promise you. You put these two together, your life will change. Just like mine's doing right now. Just like mine is. Okay, so let me give you some tips, all right? You need to read the book, and let me give you some tips like right now, right, on how to figure out what you want to do and why you want to do it. So I'm going to give some exercise. I want you to write this down. I want you to do these exercises when you get a chance. Because you start doing this stuff, man, I'm so excited for you. God put you here tonight to hear this. I'm totally convinced. that I'm here in North Carolina to be right here with you right now to give you this right here. So let's write it down, man. Nothing happens until you know why you want to do something. I have this thing that I say, if the why is big enough, the facts don't count. If the why is big enough, the facts don't count. I don't care if you don't know how to dial the phone. I don't care if you don't close. If your why is big enough, you're going to figure it out. Someone's going to come in your life to help you because you're programming your subconscious because you know why you're doing something. So I'm going to give you this quick exercise that you can do later on how to figure out why you're in this business. Maybe why you're on this earth. All right? I'm going to show you something that will help you figure it out. So a T-graph. On the left side of the T-graph, I want you to write down what you have in your life that you don't want. Then on the right side of the T-graph, I want you to put what you want that you don't have. This total brainstorm opportunity. Without judgment, write down the things in your life that you have that you don't want. Just list them as fast as you can. Brainstorm, brainstorm, brainstorm. Just list them out, list them out, list them out. And if you're married, you have a spouse or a significant other, right? You both do it separately, then you put your notes together. So, for example, okay, I've got 50 pounds that I want to get rid of. I've got credit card debt that I'd like to get rid of. I've got student loans, right? A bad relationship with my spouse. All right. I can't close a barn door. Okay, I live in fear of poverty. I'm always living on the edge. Man, do you remember what that's like? Living on the edge all the time? Like seriously, I joke about it, but like running your credit card, giving someone to run your credit card, and in your mind you're saying, Lord, please let it go. Let it run. You ever been there? Man, I've been there. I've been there when the guy says, you know what? You know how they do it? See, I know how they do it. Sir, your card declined. Do you have the card? Y'all been there? Sir, your card declined. Do you have another card? And your stomach is just like churning, going, God, man, I was hoping that commission check was going to be there. Oh my God. You know that feeling? That's what you want to get rid of, don't you? You want to get rid of that crap in your life. I did. I want to get rid of it forever. Fear of poverty, just write them all down. And then on the right-hand side, put the things that you want that you don't have. Man, I want a home. I'm renting right now. I want a home. How about, man, I've fallen away. Man, I want to know my God better. I want to be in that state. I want to be in His grace. How about this? I want to fall in love with my wife again. What is it you want? It could be material. It doesn't got to be like this big old esoteric thing. It could be just any little thing. I want to bring my family to Disney World for Thanksgiving. I want to give them that, not on a credit card, because I have the money to do it. I want a car that starts. And then when I turn it off, I want it to stop. You know? Man, I remember Patrick Connors and I, man, our biggest dream when we first got started was, Lord have mercy, please let us have a car under 100,000 miles. Man, absolutely. Just stuff that you want, that you don't have. You know, I believe in dominion. God gave us dominion. Not stuff for stuff's sake. It's like, hey, why do I gotta drive? It's not holy to drive a rusted Toyota. Nor is it holy to drive a Mercedes-Benz. So if it's not holy or unholy, I'd rather drive a Mercedes-Benz. You know what I'm saying? It's okay. Okay, so what you have that you don't want, what you want that you don't have, and then here's what you do. You turn the stuff on the left, what you have that you don't want, into the stuff on the right, which is, instead of losing 50 pounds, it's hard to put a goal like, I gotta lose 50 pounds, I gotta lose 50 pounds. It's better to do a positive goal, okay? So over here, everything's positive, the things that you want. It's not that I don't want to lose 50 pounds. How about this? I want to weigh 175 pounds. And in fact, really what I want is I want to be healthy. And why do I want to be healthy? I'll tell you why I want to be healthy. I have 5 children. My daughter's 18. I want to live to see my grandchildren. I want to live. The Lord's going to take me, but I don't want to do anything to hasten that. You know what I'm saying? Because He gave us free will, right? Hey, He gave us free will to commit suicide, didn't He? That wasn't nothing He's doing. And you know what? Living an unhealthy life is committing suicide slowly. I want to be around to hold my grandparents. I'm going to be around, and I'm not going to hasten that. That's why I need to lose 50 pounds. In fact, I need to weigh 170 pounds, and I need to be healthy. Because, you see what I'm doing? I'm tricking my mind to go after the positive. Because here's one thing about your brain. Your brain does not acknowledge negative stuff. It doesn't acknowledge, when you say don't do that, like when you tell your kids, don't touch that hot stove, what do they think? Touch the hot stove, don't they? You know, your brain doesn't acknowledge the don't part, they acknowledge the positive thing after it, right? So instead of, I gotta lose 50 pounds, I want to weigh 175 pounds, and I'm healthy because I want to see my grandkids. Do you see how that changes the whole thing? And so this is all this idea. Now, this is kind of based on 2 forms of motivation, okay? This form of motivation over here is called going away from. And this motivation here is going towards. In other words, you can do a going away from motivation, but you know what? Going away from something that you don't want is only temporary. It will only motivate you just far enough to stop that thing in your life. Like, for example, I need to lose 50 pounds. Okay, so I'll lose 10. Now I go from 50, now I need to lose 40, 30, 20, 10, 5. Woo, 0. I got there. Done. I'm done, man. I'm 175 pounds. The only problem with that is when I drive by that Dairy Queen, oh man, I think I deserve a chocolate dip cone. Go through the drive-thru. I want a chocolate dip cone. Sir, is that small, medium, or large? Supersize it, baby. And make that curlicue huge. Dip that sucker in a chocolate. And in fact, if you let that just spill over into the cone, I'd like that too. In fact, can you double that? It's a super thing. The only problem with an extra large cone, double bit, is when you start eating it, and it's like big, is that by the time you get the chocolate starts sliding off, and then it gets all over your clothes, and then it's like it's a mess. And oh my God, soft serve ice cream. There's something about soft. Isn't there something about soft serve? You can taste every fat molecule in your mouth. And I love it so much. It's like, man, rub me with it. I want to rub me with it. And I'm gonna lick my. I tell you, I'm a sucker for soft serve, man. I mean, it's hard for me.
We will never eat soft serve the same.
I know. Let me bathe in it. But then it's easier to go back to Dairy Queen. And so what happens? You start going backwards. You do what's called, what do we call this in dieting?
Yo-yo.
Yo-yo. Yo-yo. Okay, but when you change it to something you're going towards health, I'm weighing 175 pounds of healthy weight. For my grandkids, I don't stop here because that's not my objective. My objective is a positive one, that I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to live on this earth longer so I can hold my grandbabies. You know what I'm saying? It's different. And that's what you're doing here. You're moving here to here. Okay, so when you start putting all these things, credit card debt, student loans, I'm going to call that free from debt. Can you imagine finally being debt free? Like imagine your last credit card. You get a bonus check for $2,500 because you built the business, and you have $2,500 left on that last dirty, nasty MasterCard. Can you see yourself writing that check for $2,500, sticking it in an envelope, picking it, sticking it in the mailbox? Can you feel, do you know what that feels like? Where it's like, I'm debt free, baby. How would that feel? Could you imagine being in debt to no one? You owe no one anything but your love. Imagine. Debt free. You know what? Money won't solve all your problems. I'll tell you what. You get rid of the money problem, and what other problems can you work on now? All the real stuff. Spouse, children, God. All that crap now is gone. How many people get divorced because of finances? For better or for worse, except if you're in debt, I'm going to find another man who will not be in debt. You're laughing. Sounds like you've had that conversation before. Man, peace. I want peace in my life. I want to work on, so you turn it over here. And so here's what you do. Then you and your spouse, you and significant other start ranking them. Rack and stack it. Which one of these will have the biggest impact in your life? Rank that number one. Which one of these will have the second biggest impact? How do you define impact? You're the one that defines it. Like you got rid of it. If you took care of that one, man, how would you feel? What would that do in your life? Would that make your life so much better? Rack and stack, 3, 4, 5, and then you reorder them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here is what you discover. Maybe the top 1, 2, or 3 is maybe why you're doing this. Number 1, 2, or 3 is emotional. It's something that you want to cry about if you could get it done. You will go through anything to make it happen. You will walk a mile through broken glass just to get that thing done because the impact in your life is so huge. It's so powerful. Is it worth it to just do this exercise and know what that is for you? Think about the power of the motivation you have because you finally figured out what will get you through all the crap on the phone. Dialing, getting people mean on the phone, driving 2 hours for a no-show. If you know why the facts don't count, if you know why it ain't no big thing, because you know you're doing it for a reason. You know that other people will help you. The why's big enough, the facts don't count. This is a way to identify it. Okay? So I want to ask you to do that for me, please. That's the exercise. One exercise. Okay? Okay, here's the next one. This one comes out of goals. This one, oh my gosh, when I start doing this one, see, here's what it is. You get what you think about the most. You get what you think about the most. If it's in your mind, you will receive it. And if you're thinking about it all the time, it will be yours. I know this because my son Athen, when he was 9 years old, he said, "Daddy, I want an iPhone. Daddy, I want an iPhone. Daddy, I want an iPhone." That's all I heard for 6 months. "Daddy, I'm going to get an iPhone. Daddy, I'm getting an iPhone." No, he wasn't asking me to give him one. He was saying, I'm going to get one. And he works for me, okay? He works for me. He recruits for me. He earns about $49 a week recruiting for me. And he's done it since he was like 13, 12, actually for a while. You know, we pay him like way minimum, below minimum wage too. Man, we just like, he's a slave actually for us. But don't tell him that. Don't tell him that, okay?
It's character.
You know what he did? He saved his money. Because he kept talking about that iPhone. And then he comes up to me, hey Daddy, I want to go buy my iPhone now. What? Yeah, I got the money. Well, how are you going to pay for the data plan? Well, I'm working for you, right? By the way, can I get a raise? Just because he asked, I said, okay, man, rock on, dude. And then he wanted a camera, a nice Canon EOS camera. He got that. Then he wanted a PowerBook. He wanted a PowerBook Pro, a MacBook Pro. And this is how he did it. He goes, hey, Daddy, you know those Mac Airs rock? What do you mean? They're super light. They got an i7 processor in it. Man, you would love it. You would love that Mac Air. So, hey, look. Hey, we're at Best Buy. Let's go check it out. So he takes me to the Mac Air. He goes, man, check this out. See how light it is. I go, wow, this is pretty cool, dude. He said, man, you should get one, Daddy. You deserve one. You're really good. He was selling me. I go, man, I need one of these. And then he says, by the way, would yours be up for sale? And so I sold it to him for like $700. And he had the money. He had like $1,000 in his account. I was like, where are you getting all this money? And he got that too. See, he kept thinking about it. He kept obsessing about it, and he got it. So here's what you do, okay? Here's what you do. Every morning, when you wake up, you take a spiral notebook. This is my spiral notebook, okay? And what I do every morning when I wake up is I write down my 10 to 15 goals that I'm going to accomplish. Okay? So I take my spiral notebook, and I write down 10 to 15 of my goals that I'm going to accomplish. Right? And then when I go to bed, I write down the 10 to 15 goals that I want to accomplish. And when I wake up, I write the 10 to 15 goals. And I don't refer to what I wrote before. Okay? Does that make sense? I don't refer to what I wrote before. Why? Because I want my brain to want the things it wants right now. I want my brain to get the things that it is important enough. You know how sometimes, oh man, I had a question for you, but I can't remember what it was. And then you say, well, I guess it wasn't important enough, right? This exercise morning and night will help you figure out the most important goals. Because the first time you do it, you have to put some thought into it. And then when you go to bed, you have to put some thought into it. And then when you wake up, you put less thought into it. It starts coming out. And then when you go to bed, and then if you compare what you did when you first started doing it, some of the goals changed, some of the things changed, right? So here's the secret of how you put these goals in. Number one, you got to follow the rules of PPP. They got to be phrased in the positive. They got to be phrased in the present, like it's already happened, and it's got to be personal. Okay? So what do I mean personal? Do you know that you're the only one that can use the word I? You're the only one, Lil Con, can use the word I. I earn 2,500 a week. It's positive. I earn. It's as if it already happened, 2,500 a week. And then I put a date, by December 2014. I earned 2,500 a week by December 2014. It's personal, it's present, and it's positive. That's how you put your goals. Personal, present, positive. And then another addition to this is that you put 3 things that you're going to do to accomplish it. I book 15 appointments a week. 15 appointments a week. I dial $250 a week, and I counsel upline with my mentor. Goal number 1. You do that for goal number 2. Number 3. And it doesn't have to be business. It could be anything. It could be anything that you want in your life. It could be the most important thing that is important to you to happen right now. Know what I mean? How about this one? I love this one. I live in a 8,000 square foot home by March 3rd, 2016. You know what? You can have whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. You're allowed to dream big. Because you know what? Your subconscious doesn't know the difference. Your subconscious doesn't know whether it can be true or not. Isn't that awesome? And when you put it in there, the world will change. Your mind will change. Everything will change. Everything will conform for you to get that 8,000 square foot house. It'll be crazy. It'll be weird. Things will be weird that will happen to you. People will come into your business, come into your life that will make it happen for you. Because what you believe and have faith in will happen. Because it's inside you. You know that you know that you know. Faith. That's when you activate faith. You activate faith up here. It's the knowing. I live in an 8,000 square foot home. Seems crazy, doesn't it? No, it doesn't. You want it, you can have it. See, you don't need to live in fear, because where does fear come from? The enemy. God created you to be victorious in this life if you only believe. He just said you just have to believe. Have faith and work it, baby. Have faith. Because greater things you will do than I have done. When Jesus went up, he said, greater thing? What? Man, you cured the sick. You raised the dead. You made the lame walk. Are you kidding me? Greater things you will do? I'm receiving that one because he blessed me with this up here. And you know what? I read this article that you know your brain has this physiological thing about it that allows you to have faith. That allows you to have faith. What is faith? Faith. Believing in things that you have no reason to believe in. Things hoped for, evidence of things not seen. Right? Man, the power is what you have. He gave it to you. So you put this on your goals morning and night, morning and night, morning and night. Every day, every month, every year. And your life will change because your subconscious starts believing you and it says, I'm going to get that for you. But also what happens is the Holy Spirit comes out of you and says, we're going to make this all happen for you because you believe. You hear me?
Yeah.
All right, the second thing is gold cards. 3x5 cards, 1 goal per card. And what you do is you get no show, Andrew, you take out your gold cards, flip through it and you read it. Flip through it and you read it. You speak it. Flip through. It'll take you about 2 minutes. And then right before you go into Dairy Queen to get your
Grilled chicken sandwich.
while you're in the drive-thru behind 3 other cars, you pull your gold cards out and you read through. You read through. You read through it. And then throw that card out about exercise and you Actually, what will happen is you get to that card and you're in that line and then it's put in reverse and it really will. I can attest to that. Sometimes guilt works really well. gold cards. You read it twice a day. You got 2 minutes to change your life? 2 minutes to change your life by reading your gold cards? 2 minutes? What?
Out loud.
Huh?
Read them out loud.
Read them out loud? Yeah, oh yeah. You gotta read them out loud. You gotta read them out loud. Because when it comes out of your mouth, it goes into your ear. But what comes out of your mouth goes out and doesn't come back void. It goes out. You put the soldiers of faith going out of you, and it will come back to you. It will come back to you. Man. I like being on his side. How about you? Okay, number 3. I'm almost done. I could end now if you want me to.
No.
Number 3. Now this is the turbo boost. This is a turbo boost to getting what you want. Okay, this is like the extra sugar on top that will accelerate this. Now you're already you're an advanced goal setting achievement already up to this point. But I'm going to give you the turbocharge mode. Who wants to go in turbocharge mode to make it happen sooner? This is what will put it into turbocharge mode. It's called visualization. This is one of the most powerful things that you can do in goal achievement. There was a study done with the basketball team. They had one part of the squad actually shoot free throws to practice their free throws, and they kind of split them by their free throw percentages to try to even them out. And so this squad practiced free throws, practiced free throws, practiced free throws. And this squad, they said, okay, what you're going to do is you're not going to practice free throws. You're going to imagine yourself shooting free throws that go in every time. You're going to think about making that shot. You're not going to do it. You're just going to think about it. You're going to think about it. Do you miss any when you're thinking about it? No, you're making it boom, 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 boom. Every time you're thinking, watching that ball roll off your fingertips. Perfect follow through. Swish, nothing but net. Swish, nothing but net. Swish, nothing but net. And guess who made more free throws? The guys that visualized it. Do you know what? Before, earlier this week, before I do these training meetings, I visualize me acting like a crazy man here. I thought about this, all this crazy stuff I've been doing. I already visualized it, right? I visualized people being interested in what I was teaching them. I visualized this going into their heart and their spirit. I visualized the spirit in me going into the spirit in you. I don't know, I think it's happening. I'm feeling good about it, but it's not me. It's not me. Now, visualization, what you hold in the picture in your mind, what happens when you visualize is that your body starts taking on the feeling of victory. When you visualize yourself achieving this right here, right? So when you say, I earned 2,500 a week by December 2014, in your mind's eye, you're playing the picture of what that looks like, what that feels like, what that sounds like. It's in color. Can you think about the home? 8,000 square foot home. Can you imagine what that looks like? The hardwood, the granite tops, the big butt kitchen that you won't be working in, your double wolf stove. When you're thinking about, I live in an 8,000 square foot house, you're walking through it. And when you're walking through it, you're thinking, oh my God, it's beautiful. And that feeling of walking through your 8,000 square foot home, you're like inside of it, and you're thinking, okay, my kids would just be running around here. And my husband, and oh my gosh, fireplace, stone. And you're feeling like you're there. To the point where you get, I call it Holy Spirit goosebumps, start happening. You get tingling in your fingers. Now, how do we know visualization works? Well, I gave you one example. But do you ever hear a song? Ever hear a song that takes you back immediately to that moment in time where that song meant something to you and maybe a significant other? Like for me, my song is Reasons by Earth, Wind & Fire. Philip Bailey singing Reasons, and the live version, right? Not the album version. And I hear the sax solo, and I'm dancing with slow dancing with Stephanie in high school. My first real girlfriend. Okay, as opposed to my fake girlfriends. I'm just singing. I'm singing like Philip Bailey in her ear. And I feel that warmth, like my chest against her chest. Oh God, that was so awesome. And I'm just feeling her. And I loved her. And you know how that song does that for you? It like takes you back, and that feeling just kind of just overwhelms you, right? That's how I know it works, because it brings that back. It brings those tinglings back.
Your wife don't like that song, does she?
Pardon me?
Your wife don't like that
She
song.
doesn't know about that song. No blackmail. But I'm serious. And then the other one is Always and Forever by Heatwave. Always and forever. Anyway. Okay. Visualization. So when you visualize while you're reading the cards, and it can happen quicker. It happens quick. In fact, it can happen really quick. The better you are at it, you start saying, I live in 8,000 square foot. The feeling comes like this. The picture happens and the feeling comes. And that's how you put the secret sauce on your goals. You know what I'm saying? Visualization. Your mind will paint the picture and it will happen for you. These are 3 simple things that you can do today without even reading the book. Okay? Now, you should read the book. I beg you to read the book, but you can do that tonight. I don't care if you don't have a spiral notebook. Get a piece of paper and write down your 10 to 15 goals, because it's so important for your life. Because here's what I want to have. Today is what, June 5th? June 5th, 2014. See, a year from now, June 5th, 2015, when I come back to Raleigh, and we're sitting in a room of 200 people, right? Because you, Valerie, you got 30 people in that room that are just in your team. You know what I'm saying? 200 people in this room. In fact, we're not even in this hotel. You got to get this huge ballroom because we got so many people. You'll come up to me and you'll say, Alex, that talk you did on June 5th, 2014 changed my life. And here's why. Can you see yourself telling me that? Can you see yourself telling me that when you have like real things that happen in a Holy Spirit way? That would be awesome, wouldn't it? Valerie, you come up to me, Alex. That talk you did, I started doing it every day. I still do it. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. This happened. Oh my God. And you give me this big old hug, and I'm saying, amen. It's not me. It's not me. It happened. Man, I got fired up, man. You got me like all goose pimply and, man, like I said, this is the most important thing I've ever talked to y'all about, and because it's making a difference in my life. You know what would make the ultimate difference in my life is a year from now when you tell me that, then I know that God has blessed me to do His will. And that's what just keeps me going, is to know that maybe, Cynthia, something changed for you. Because I was a messenger. That's all I did. Okay, so y'all promised me you're going to at least write your goals down before you go to bed tonight? Y'all promise me that, please?
Yes.
Get your spiral notebook, get your 3x5 card, get your books. I'll promise you, it will change your life.
Awesome.
All right? All right, man, we're done. Thanks so much for listening.